Ladies and gentlemen, controversy has taken over Sportswire Radio these past several weeks from a who's who of people. Some shouldn't be in the ring, others, well, you can decide for yourself. But after all the chaos that has unfolded, we finally decided we needed to bring in a little law and order. A man that is a sergeant who certainly knows how to enforce the law. A man who certainly knows how to worship this great sport of wrestling. And he's going to talk about all of it and some, and especially what's upcoming when it comes to Grimomania, where arguably, ladies and gentlemen, his stake in pro wrestling Venom is on the line and could permanently be forever changed as a longtime nemesis is decided to step up and try to take away what he's built. He's going to talk about that here, plus a who's who of other wrestlers in places that he's been in recently. He'll certainly bring up the likes, I have no doubt of, Mikey Anarchy, because Mikey Anarchy is always a topic, even though
he's champion of my company.
I'm going to get to that because I have a lot to say about Mr. Anarchy. We're going to get to that, Mr. Controversy. We're going to talk about our friends over at Resurrection Wrestling and the Mountain Dew worshiper, Mr. Matt 10. We're going to talk about XPW coming up in a few weeks.
That's right, baptized in blood.
Anything else you want to say? But ladies and gentlemen, it's a real honor to have on our friend once again on Sportswire Radio. I can go on and on and on about him. Plus, I'll even have something for him while I go on and on and on about him throughout the next hour. But I'm going to now give him that introduction that so many of his colleagues and maybe so many of his worshipers that actually secretly want a piece of him, but they'll never be able to get the Sarge. They'll never be able to get the Enforcer, no matter how many times they try, and that includes Grim. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to give him that introduction, and let's get right to it, because it's Wednesday night, we're in prime time, and we need law and order to deal with all the controversy here on Sportswire Radio. So, with that, without further ado, here on the Sports Report, number one, global sports show. The worshiper of the sport of wrestling. He's the man that's enforcer. He's our law and order. He's, simply put, the owner of Pro Wrestling Venom.
CEO.
Sergeant Jimmy Controversy. Jimmy, how are you?
Thanks for having me. Always an honor. Always an honor to be on Sportswire Radio. And we are already 3 minutes in, or 4 minutes in. So 4 minutes, and we got like an hour. So
I know,
because we got a lot to talk about, man. Going into Grimomania, going into WrestleMania weekend, my first Mania weekend in 5 years. I have UWF that Friday night, and I got X Brand that I just got confirmed for X Brand that Sunday night. So I'm pretty booked up for Mania weekend. You know, I'll be at WrestleCon, of course, with a lot of the guys, you know, from XPW. You know, you got Tarzan, you got JJ Escobar, you know, you got Necro Butcher, all those guys there. They're going to be there. I'm also going to eat the turnbuckle as well. I'll be there as well. But it's that time of year again.
How does that make you
Grimmermania.
feel, Jim? Because we're, WrestleMania this year for us locally in the tri-state area,
God,
it's here. So it's got to be extra special. And I know we'll certainly
dude,
talk a lot about Grimmermania, but it's got
I
to be extra special this year.
I have not been booked on a Mania weekend in 5 years. Because of course I was the unpopular choice, okay? Because I
You
was
spoke
hated.
about that the first time you were on
Everybody,
the show
yes.
in December.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, I was the unpopular choice. I was hated by a lot of people. But you know what? Um, my hard work and my work ethic, I feel like overshadows that. And the fact that, I stepped up and took a stand in recent months. And, I started Pro Wrestling Venom. I went out there, I did my own thing, and did what I intended to do and started, to achieve the goals that, I originally wanted to achieve when I got into the wrestling business at just like 16, 18 years old. I originally started, when I was 16 on GTS with Grim as a GTS OG.
I know you spoke about that here the first time.
I was the one, yeah, I was the one with Grim, his brother, Peter Kid, who came back and is now the GTS Ultimo champion, and he's gonna be at Grimmermania this year. And because I was the one who stayed around with his brother, Duhop, GTS grew. And then I went WrestlePro, got training there, and now I'm setting out to do my own thing, to achieve the goals and ambitions that I had at that time that, people kind of got in the way of me trying to achieve. And I am achieving them, and I'm going to keep achieving everything, I'm not satisfied until I'm on the top. And I'm not going to be satisfied until Pro Wrestling Venom is on the top. It is my creation. And Grimmermania this year is probably going to be well, first of all, it's my first Grimmermania since 2022.
We were talking about this. Yeah, we were talking about this off the air that
Yeah.
That you're back, and it's also a big weekend for you because you got so many other places, but also, control of Pro Wrestling Venom is on the line before I get to comments. I mean, there's a lot at stake. This is kind of extra big. You and Anarchy was one thing last month.
Me and Anarchy was one thing.
But this is another. This is a totally another level. This is maybe one of the biggest matches of your entire career, Jim. And you've had some big ones. You've had some big ones.
Well, to go back on Anarchy for a second.
Oh, God.
Because I want to give Anarchy the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, right? Fair.
Because contrary to popular belief, I am a nice guy. I walked into UWF where he was a staple of. I walked into UWF. I got to challenge him for the Uncivilized Championship. I beat him for the Uncivilized Championship. During that time, I started Pro Wrestling Venom. UWF went on a hiatus. I took the Uncivilized Championship with me to Venom after getting the blessing of Pat McIntosh, which was the new UWF management at the time. I had to do what was best for business and put the Pro Wrestling Venom Championship on myself. I mean, there was no way Jay Evans was going to beat me for that open challenge anyway. So I put both belts on myself. Anarchy challenged me, made the contract. Dirty Ron, because of a lawsuit against him and I, became co-CEO of Pro Wrestling Venom. That does not mean his name is on the LLC.
Nope.
So
we saw that play out a little bit. Yep.
Legally, as of right now, and this could change at Grimmermania, there's a slight possibility, but I'm going to die trying to keep it the same. Legally, as of right now, I am still the owner of Pro Wrestling Venom. Okay, it says it on the LLC. It says it on the paperwork. I did the tax ID number.
And if we saw the opening of the last Pro Wrestling Venom show, they were kind of throwing a lot of things at you. Corruption, and there was the contract that was shown there. There was a lot of stuff that was shown that's almost saying that you weren't a nice guy, Jimmy. That you weren't doing what's best for business.
Dirty Ron is a promoter himself. He has his own company himself, Fist Combat Wrestling.
Yep.
And I will be there this weekend. Gonna make a quick stop before
pit stop there for you, Jim.
Gonna make a pit stop at the West Coast before Groomania. But he, in that lawsuit, was able to got the access and the entitlement to handle the booking, half the booking. Half of the financials. He is entitled to the revenue that
We lost you there, Jimmy. I hope you come back there. We kind of lost you for a second, but
yeah, somebody just called me. Somebody just called me.
Is Dirty Ron trying to call you right now and try to do something else to work a fast on you,
dude,
Jim?
my phone has been ringing off the hook regarding everything that's been going on. That full power and control and all that. But
I said, listen, this could be. We say this all the time, and it's cliche. It's the biggest match of your career.
Especially after I put that post up, somebody just commented what is, speaking of my career in GTS, what is the what am I upping the what do they mean? What do I mean by upping the stipulation a little bit? I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But so as I was saying, he's entitled to the booking, he's entitled to the financials, he's entitled to the revenue, he's entitled to bring talent in, fire talent, hire talent. He's entitled to the day-to-day production operations, but legally, he doesn't own any of the legalized Pro Wrestling Venom paperwork that is being put on the line at Groomamania. So he found a loophole with Anarchy where when Anarchy made that contract.
Yep. Boy, were you upset about that, Jim, on TV? That certainly was something.
Anarchy made that contract. He didn't fly to California. He doesn't have no money. He made
I'm
that
not
contract.
Going there, Jim. I'm not going there.
He made that contract to put a clause in there that by signing the contract to put the Pro Wrestling Venom and Uncivilized Championships on the line, it would have been no rules. Of course, it would be Venom rules. And I would also agree to a match against Dirty Ron McDonald.
Yep.
For full power and control of Pro Wrestling Venom. I signed the contract without people on my team who were supposed to read it.
The legal team didn't do a good job there, Jim.
The legal team, yeah. I had referee Julie Rogan, who I thought was reliable, but she read the contract and said it was good to sign, so I signed it. Now, since I own the rights to Venom, I mean, shit, I founded the company. I could easily veto this, but I want to prove a point that I'm not going to be someone who is going to let somebody else in the pro wrestling business, especially
a man that you've had history with, a man that you've spoken about for a lot of your career.
Especially in today's society, in the way the business is today, I'm not going to let somebody force me out.
And also, especially what Grim really did to you, even after you lost to Anarchy at the last show, at the big super show between Venom and GTS. How about that?
100%. The way other people are forced out of the wrestling industry, other wrestlers, and I'm not just talking about promoters. Promoters, wrestlers are forced
And you've always spoke about wrestlers getting opportunities.
Forced
You've
out of
always
the
spoke
business.
about
Yeah.
always being free, being able to make your own decisions. There's
Well,
been nobody in this sport that's fought against the cancel culture agenda in this sport like you. You have been the biggest champion of that James controversy.
And Ron, who should know what it's like to go up against the cancel culture
But
mob.
he's listening to Grimm more than you. But he's listening to Grimm more than you.
Is now riling everybody up. Guys on my roster, turning them against me, saying, yeah, I need to rid
But how about the last show? You were in a match. You were in a match with somebody from your own roster, and they said, well, I to hell with Pro Wrestling Venom. I don't want to leave Pro Wrestling Venom.
That was E-Money Millie. That was E-Money Millie, yeah.
I didn't even want to mention his name, Jim, because
E-Money Millie, here's the thing. I'm going to mention his name because when I came to him, he agreed to be a secret partner for Pro Wrestling Venom.
But then he turns around and says, I don't want any part of Pro Wrestling Venom.
But then he turns around and says, I don't want any part of Pro Wrestling Venom. And then he says he hopes Dirty Ron kicks my ass. And then I get a text message from him. The only way I could be part of Pro Wrestling Venom again is if you just hand power and control over to Dirty Ron and walk away. That was like Jay Evans. I remember Jay Evans telling me that I need to disappear for at least a year or two. I don't need to disappear for at least a year or two. Come on, man. Everybody wants to talk about their safe space, doesn't want you to be controversy around. Are you kidding me? Bro, this is professional wrestling.
No,
I had no comfort zone.
You're Jimmy Controversy, but I have a lot of people that do want to say hello to you. And I got to get to comments because I have a lot of people that want to talk to you. Before I pull up some of the other links on the screen, we want to make sure we say go Jimmy here. Follow Jimmy on all these platforms. I've put it up here on the screen. I want to say hello to Nate, who's holding a lot of money. It certainly isn't your money or my money. My buddy Skulls wants to ask, what's up, Jimmy? I'm still waiting for the invite to Venom, and I will be at XPW in Los Angeles on the 13th of April.
XPW is returning to LA, baby.
I saw that.
Returning to LA. That's a whole other ball game.
Well, question, if you had to fight one GTS legend from the past, who would it be?
GTS legend from the past.
Any GTS legend from the past, who would it be?
Let's see. I would have to say, well, I pretty much fought a lot of them. I would have to say Brian Myers was on GTS.
It's a good one. I forgot about that.
That is a good one. Brian Myers was part of GTS.
Another local guy, obviously. Yep.
Another tri-state area guy.
Yep. Long Island. Yep.
A legend from GTS, and Brian Myers did a good part in starting GTS. I would love to have one more match with Robbie E. I would love to have one more match with Red Titus. Hell, I would love to have one more match with Cletus because that Sucker Slam, that was bullshit.
Well, Robbie, it's funny. I was speaking with one person off the air, and they mentioned to me that they would like to see you in Robbie E one more time. So Robbie E is a good one.
That was legendary.
If Grim didn't want Skulls at GTS as a wrestler, who would pay his way to wrestle, and he would do the same just to have a match at Venom. And if you're out there for the first time watching us, make sure you hit that sub button for us on YouTube at Sportzwire Radio 6579. Jimmy, where is your Jeff Hardy mask?
It's in some container, like collecting dust.
Now he's a free agent. Maybe we can sign him at Pro Wrestling Venom. Apparently,
Jonathan Hallman. He is a free agent.
He's a free agent. Yeah, the Hardys are free agents. Maybe Pro Wrestling Venom can sign him. I don't know.
You know what? You never know. I gotta. You know what? Never say never. Never say never.
Amen to that.
Never say never.
Dirty Ron is something meeting in person. Yep.
Wait a minute. I want to see that. I want to.
Dirty Ron is something meeting in person at Total Violent Wrestling. He's meeting him in person. He meant to say that.
Honestly, to his credit, I'm gonna give him this. He is something. Dirty Ron. A lot of people just think that he's playing this character, but no. Dirty Ron is Dirty Ron, with or without the makeup. What you see in the ring is him turned up to 1,000 with clown makeup on. It's legit. I'm not going to deny
that. The way you said that was just very funny. I have to admit.
I'm not going to deny that he has a great mind for wrestling. I'm not going to deny that he took San Diego and made it his territory.
Yeah,
I'm not going to deny his passion and how much he cares about Pro Wrestling Venom, a brand that I founded, a brand that I've spent my entire life savings on.
But he's trying to take something away from you.
But
from
he's
you,
trying,
Jim.
He's trying to take my brand away from me and using everybody's hatred towards Jimmy Controversy.
Jimmy, that would be like if somebody came into your house and wanted to take your house away from you.
As a reason, he's using everybody's hatred and my mistakes as a reason to justify him wanting to take my brand away from me. And I don't, here's the thing. I don't know the meaning of the word quit. I just don't. I've been in the pro wrestling business since I was 16 years old.
I've even seen recently what you've been put through with hardcore, what you've been put through with anarchy,
100%.
Matt Kennedy.
100%.
You know, if those guys couldn't put you away permanently, why is Dirty Ron going to be able to? That's what I want to know.
All while trying to run a brand
Tommy Dreamer even mentioned you on his podcast not too long ago. How's that, ladies and gentlemen?
He mentioned me in one sentence and the rest was about a tree stump.
But he still mentioned you, though. He still mentioned you. That's why I've been how many people you know get to be mentioned on a podcast with a man that has had 1 million followers on both his platforms and arguably should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. So there you go.
Beats me. Yeah, I'm not going to deny that. But, you know, here's the thing. He challenged me at Grimomania. I got my start at GTS. He challenged me at my yard.
Yep.
There would honestly be no GTS if there wasn't for Jimmy Controversy. I'm just going to say that right now.
Oh, obviously. And look at all the opportunities you've given to
Grim
people.
and Doo-Hop needed somebody to put through a table, needed somebody to beat up, needed somebody to fight. Oh, where's Jimmy? Let's get Jimmy. Let's go to Jimmy's house. Let's go trash Jimmy's basement. Let's go put Jimmy through his treehouse. Let's go put Jimmy through a table. Let's bring Jimmy to the ring. All that. And here's the thing. You know, the 4 pillars of GTS, you know, was Grim, Doo-Hop, his nephew Peter Kid, and myself. And
you guys are the Mount Rushmore of GTS in some way.
Exactly. And Grim and Doo-Hop always thought, and the rest of the OGs that were there at the time always thought that Peter Kid was going to be the one, was like the one, the third man to be there consistently, to be there every time. You know, everybody thought he had it. Everybody thought he had the talent for it. He had the look. Everybody thought he would take the ball and run with it. Why not?
There's a lot of people, Jimmy, that want to talk to you, and I got to let them say hello. There's a lot of,
let me finish this.
Sure.
He went to college, obviously.
So, yeah,
he pursued other careers.
Fair.
So, as time went on, I was the one who stepped up and took the ball and ran with it and then decided, yeah, I'm going to get into the wrestling business. I'm here to be everywhere. I'm here to travel. I'm here to put in the work. I'm here to be the top guy. That's all right. Well, the rest is history.
Well, we want to hold off quickly. I want to make sure people, if you are here on YouTube, go hit that sub button to Pro Wrestling Venom before we get to comments. This is where you can watch all of it. The company that Jimmy Controversy built. So let me get to a lot of people here want to say hello. Jimmy, would you ever turn babyface? Well, who said you're not a babyface? I want to say hello to Skulls again. Meet Skulls in Riverside. I want to say hello to my buddy, Mr. Andrew Lovelace. Andrew, of course, does some work for Amplified and Enterprise Wrestling up the road from you, Jimmy. He's also a great DJ. So if you ever need a DJ for Pro Wrestling Venom, Andrew Lovelace could be the man for you. Want to say hello to our friends, NEW Wrestling. You know, Jimmy, there could be an opening there for you because apparently Hardcore pulled out of their Riot in the Ring show coming up on June the 2nd. And just maybe there you could maybe replace Hardcore. The irony of that, Jimmy. And we have coverage from the guys at NEW tomorrow with Mr. Power Surge, 8 o'clock. So want to say hello there. Want to say hello to my friend, Mr. James Taylor, the Nemesis. I want to say hello to a guy, Jimmy, that, he spoke about you a lot on this platform. He's supposed to be a hardcore god. He's a boogeyman of the Midwest, and his name is Omen Black, and he's
Omen Black. What's up? I'm back,
guys.
By the way, I just got a text message from
Dirty Ron,
a friend of No, it's actually a friend of Ron's in the West Coast. He's actually a friend of me too, but
good mutual friends there.
We got mutual friends.
Will Willow ever return?
I don't know about that, but
now,
I don't know.
I got to bring up somebody that, he challenged you a couple of weeks ago. This guy, his name is Anthony Steele. He calls himself the Real Deal. He's, a really established guy in these different federations. He's a champion currently in NOCW, up the road in Resurrection, and he just simply says hello. I don't know if maybe Mr. Steele is starstruck. Maybe he wants to, see if he could have a match with you. I don't know, but he does want to say hello to you, though. Maybe it's just the first, of many.
Hello. I don't know. I gotta look into your work, bro.
Good enough. That's a fair response.
I gotta look into your work right now. I got to get
focused
through.
On GTS. We're focused on this. Listen, when you want the winning edge on Pro Wrestling Venom against GTS, you know how to get a hold of me. Don't worry, Jimbo. I'll make it happen.
I know how to get a hold of you.
Where is Willow's mask?
Okay. Jonathan. He already answered that.
Okay, fair enough. I want to say hello to my buddy, Mr. Levi McDaniel. Levi, good to see you as always. He's he's one of the general managers in the IMF. Want to say hello to my friend out in the UK right now at 1 o'clock in the morning. He says, Jimmy, you're only relevant because of Grimm and GTS. That's not true, Daniel Banner. You see Pro Wrestling Venom?
Yes. All right, Daniel. I'm going to answer this question right now. Yes and no.
Okay.
Grimm, so here's the thing. Grimm broke me into the business. He gave me my start. He jump-started my career by making me known and jump-started. He put me on sort of an easy path in a way, in a very weird way. But I mean, my path is not easy at all.
No.
But he did give me an opportunity at a very young age. Because people get into wrestling at 19, 20. I got in while I was 16. It was the summer of my sophomore year when I started filming with Grimm and filming the GTS wrestling skits. So Grimm gave me the opportunity to perform on his platform. He gave me an amazing platform, but he didn't believe that I would he didn't believe that I would go anywhere. He thought, maybe he'll, Jimmy will just be some underdog on the show, some regular guy on the show. He didn't really think I had star power. He didn't think I had what it took. I had to prove to him, to a lot of people, that I had what it took. That, yeah, this is my shit right now. This is, I fucking belong in the business. I had to prove that to Grimm. And, while doing that, I was willing to do whatever it took. I was willing to do the most crazy, most dangerous, most risk-taking stuff. I was just thinking stuff that was just crazy and just so far out there that, could push the envelope. And I did it, and I kind of abused my body for it. And
kids, don't try this at home, by the way. For the kids that are watching, don't try it.
It brought GTS. It brought GTS. We as a group collectively brought that channel, brought GTS Wrestling to life.
To become ultimately the 7th biggest company in the world based on YouTube. I mean, it shows
made it to the 7th, made it what it is today.
And ahead of places like Ring of Honor, ahead of places like New Japan, ahead of those places in itself. That's a massive accomplishment.
100%.
And everybody else involved.
We collectively, Grim provided the platform, but myself, his brother, Cletus, Jay Evans, all those guys, we brought GTS to. We were a part of that machine that brought GTS to
the masses.
Almost 2 million subscribers, millions of viewers around the world.
Absolutely. And I want to get to more people. Plus, I want to present to you something soon. I want to say hello to one of my Hall of Famers, a guy who's hardcore, by the way, in the UK, Mr. Jam Dog himself, 20-year pro, and he's going to be in the ring this Saturday. Good luck, Jam Dog. Hopefully you bring home that CCW World Championship and the World Underground title there. And Anthony Steele says, he says, see you soon. Now, Anthony Steele's very well known, though. You know, you might be the man of controversy, but on Sportswire, he seems to bring out the masses. He is a guy that's got a following.
He's the man of steel.
He's the man of steel who's got a following, apparently. And, he certainly, definitely says he's a big fan of yours, and he definitely would like to test his skills one day against you, and never say never. Do you still watch WWE? I'm not sure why this is relevant, but I don't know.
I follow it. I follow wrestling, but, I'm busy doing a lot of things on my own.
I figured I'm
busy doing my own thing. I barely have time to sit down and watch TV. I barely have time to sit down and do this podcast. I had to make time.
That sounds like my life these days. Literally, that's my life.
Today, since it's not next week and Grimomania is next week and that match is next week, I wanted to sit down and take the time to talk about it.
I gotta bring this one up because my buddy Daniel Banner actually has something directed toward Grim, and I want to say thank you, Mr. Banner, for bringing this up. Would Grim be on Sportswire? That's a fantastic question. That's a fantastic question because
I don't know if Grim would. I don't know if Grim will be on Sportswire.
You know what?
But Rad Dad's gonna be. Rad Dad would love to be on Sportswire.
Rad Dad, yes. Now,
he said good stuff about you, and you know what?
Yes.
Him and Anarchy, man.
Well, Anarchy I spoke to. Anarchy's definitely coming back before the big. Yes, he's definitely coming back. And Rad Dad, yes, we have spoke a few times. So yes, thank you for that great question. Okay,
in a ladder match for both the U.S. and GTS Intercontinental Championship.
Oh, I love when they had that. How about that title pose that they had? When they basically both lifted up the titles, and it was oh my God, you could feel the heavens and the hell kind of collide at the same time. But Nate wants you and Dirty Ron in the 3 stages of hell match.
Oh, I'm gonna be honest with you, Nate.
The match, Jim. Do you want to walk afterwards? Do you want to walk out on your own cognizance?
Well, here's what it comes down to, Nate. And Tom, and I need you to listen to this. What it comes down to is not only just control over something that I created, but I've given this a lot of thought these past couple of days after seeing Ron up in Rochester. If I can't beat Dirty Ron at Grimomania, I got to walk away from GTS as well.
What? Jimmy, what did you just say? What?
I can't.
You heard? I mean, maybe I need to get my ears checked, but can you repeat that again? That was crazy what you just said, Jim.
Here's the thing. Because Dirty Ron is stepping in to my house. All right? I created Venom. I created that entity. I created that brand. But for years, I was the golden boy of GTS. I busted my ass these past 10 years. I missed out on so many opportunities. And this is why I haven't went that far as I should be for somebody who's been in the business for 10 years. So many opportunities. I focused that time on Grim's show. And this clown, this guy coming in who's 20 years in is just acting like some face-painted tool saying, I'm going to challenge you for your company in front of millions of people around the world on the show that has 2 million subscribers, Grimomania. The reason why Grimomania has that many people watching and that many people watching around the world and is the 7th most watched wrestling show on YouTube, you're looking at the reason right here, Dirty Ron. You're looking at the reason right here. And listen, there have been there have been 8 Grimomanias. 8 Grimomanias. And I've been to 7 of them. How many Grimomanias have you been to, Dirty Ron?
Not as many as you, Jimmy. That's what I can tell you.
0.
That's what I can tell you. Not as many as you.
I almost died at my last Grimomania. I almost died in that refrigerator at my last Grimomania. Hell, at Grimomania 2019 in an industrial park massacre, I almost died.
But you're still
So you think that I'm going to go into Grimomania and lay down for some face-painted Ronald McDonald wannabe fuck?
No, sir.
You guys got another thing coming.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I want to say hello to the big man of DBW, Big Tex, big fan of yours. How you doing? Also want to say hello to Mr. Brian Cummings, who I know very well. He says you survived Bryant, Woods, and Necro. Yep.
Oh, man. Dude, listen, bro. My jaw was killing me for like a week. A Necro punch? No joke, man. No joke. But I love Necro. Necro is Necro's literally one of the most intelligent people I've met. He's the most intelligent guy I've met. He knows pretty much anything about everything. And you know, he's a legend in wrestling.
Absolutely. Listen, he's
not just deathmatch wrestling, wrestling in general. He's the godfather of deathmatch wrestling, but
listen, he's right up there with Madman Pondo. He's right up there.
Bryant Woods.
You spoke about him before the first time you came on the show.
Man. Bryant Woods, just like how Grimomania is my stomping ground, and I almost died at Grimomania a couple times. Dude, Bryant Woods almost died at Carnage Cup. That man.
Yeah, we spoke about that. I think when Mac 10 was in, because Mac was in the Carnage Cup. Yeah, we spoke about that.
That man eats, sleeps, and breathes those 3 letters, IWA, Deep South.
Absolutely. 1,000%.
He's a champion through and through. And not only a solid big man, but he's innovative. Very innovative.
For sure.
Very innovative. He picked me up in a friggin' torture rack, and next thing I know, I'm gonna fucking power bomb. Like, it's made me drop my phone. It's insane.
It's crazy. Do you want Nick Gage one day?
Oh, hell yeah. That you know, I know I usually like to fight the bigger dudes, and you know, because I like guys, you know, I like a fight with guys with 2 different styles. I mean, you know,
I want to bring it up. That Mr. Allmark says hello, by the way. He's actually recovering from injury.
Yeah, dude, that's got to happen, man. Is he still recovering from his injury, or is he?
Yeah, so he just came back. He's been doing some training. He's out there. He's doing some teaching, and he's just getting himself ready to be back in the ring. And he's hoping to have more of. I can't say it's going to be the schedule he had years past, but he's hoping to have some more in-ring activity starting in the mid to late spring. So that just wanted to give you that update that he says hello. Well, he knows you're on the show. Yep, listen, he knows you're on the show.
If you want to have Dean Allmark fly across the pond, or I'll fly across the pond to step in the ring and we'll go toe to toe. And
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to speak to Dean, because Dean is going to come back onto Sportswire within the next month or so. We have him coming back. I'll be sure.
Extreme Dean.
Oh, Dean.
What do you want to do? Do you want me to come to you? Do you want me to come to you, Extreme Dean, or do you want to come to me?
Well, I've heard
Let
from
me
a
know.
birdie that Dino actually has, some ties to America. So I'll be sure to mention that.
Obviously.
Maybe we can meet halfway and figure that out. But Daniel says he's training, hopes to meet you one day. My buddy across the pond is really enjoying tonight's show. If Grim comes to Sportswire, I would have a few words. We're getting Rad Dad first. Rad Dad's going first.
Wow.
Let's get
Rad
Dad.
Let's
get Rad Dad first. Let's start with Rad Dad.
Rad Dad. Hey, listen, GTS Ultimo Champion, Peter Kid.
And Mikey Anarchy is somebody I know very well. He's going to be back.
Pro Wrestling Venom Champion, Mikey Anarchy.
And by the way, I got to give a big shout out to the Brooklyn Prodigies. I got to give a huge shout out. Those guys are taking
my guys. I love
you signed him, Jim. You signed him. And also, I got to give big shout outs. If I don't, I'm going to get killed. Gabe Sayers and Angel Santiago.
Venom wife!
And Angel is going to be doing, he's going to be doing celebrity boxing now. I mean, Angel's like blowing up. Jimmy, I mean, you better be lucky to have him.
Angel, my man, celebrity boxing, bro. If you need me in your corner, I will be in your corner at celebrity boxing.
You stole the words 100%. Right from my mouth, Jimmy. That's exactly what I was going to say. Anthony Steele wanted to say, sweet, I've wrestled guys you have now shared a locker room with, and I don't care if it takes me going there or you coming here. I'll make it happen one way or the other. So that's what he has to say. So
I like that attitude. I like that attitude. I really hope Extreme Dean has that same attitude. If he's extreme, obviously, Extreme Dean Allmark. I remember him.
Dean, I do want to say this, and there's a lot of people who want to say, I'm going to try to get to everybody as quick as I can. Dean did tell me that he's wrestled guys like you in his sleep. I just want to let you know that. He has told me that.
Oh, okay.
So I just want to tell you, that's not for me. That's for Mr. Allmark. So,
he's wrestled guys like me in my sleep, in his sleep. Okay.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
this is not my words. That's from him.
I just hope for his sake. That he doesn't sleep on this. He doesn't sleep on this challenge. Like, I hope he doesn't sleep. I hope he is not in his sleep, because I want the best of Extreme Dean. I want the best of Dean Allmark.
And you know it, and I know it, and the world knows it. He says he'll see you in the ring in May. Also, I want to say hello.
Brian, man, I can't wait, bro. Southern Outlaws. Sarge is coming in. Bang, bang.
And speaking of the stepdads, I want to say hello to the stepdads because they're here. I want to say hi to the stepdads. And I know you
wow.
Yeah, they're here. The stepdads are here, and make sure that you follow the stepdads. Want to say hello to my buddy, Mr. Soldier GP. I want to give Soldier my thoughts and prayers because unfortunately his father had passed away 2 days ago. So I just want to make sure that, Soldier's a great guy, and I really want to make sure that people say hello to him. Well, let's not go there, hair versus hair, because Jimmy, I mean, you don't have much.
I already did a hair versus hair years ago.
Stepdads already said that Jimmy's hair isn't good.
Listen, Brutus Beefcake already shaved my hair, so I really don't want to do another hair.
And I can't wait also for Rad Dad's match. And I want to also say this: I want to get Rad Dad on. If it's not by the end of this week, by early next week. Exactly.
If you don't beat Rad Dad, if you don't beat Mikey Anarchy, man, I'm gonna be very disappointed in you.
Someone get Dirty Ron a dirty Happy Meal. That was a funny one.
Honestly, I'm surprised he's not on. I'm surprised Mind Games look like Ron already has Jimmy's number at Groomania. I'm going to have to say no because, maybe Jimmy Controversy or Sergeant Jimmy Controversy, but you're getting controversy at Groomania. This guy is getting... all right. Well, remind me, because I was already in the ring with Bryant Woods and Necro Butcher. So let's see if you could bring that same toughness.
Now, I want to read a couple of comments quick, and I got about 15 or 20 minutes with you. Plus, I have something I want to present to you. I actually have something that I want to give you, which is very important, which I think is going to tie into Grimomania, and it's going to tie into what you're going to do in the ring. So I want you to see that. Also, I want to get to Rad Dad. I'm still very much looking forward to being on the show sooner rather than later, and especially now that I'm part of EBW. So yes, definitely, I would like to get in touch with you again. Let's talk after the show is off the air, and I would like to get you on, if not by the end of this week or early next week. And I want to say hello to one of my other buddies, Good guy. He's a great guy, actually. I don't know if he wants me to say that, but his name is CJ Black. He's the RBW champion.
Oh, you missed a lot.
You missed a lot, but I still got some tricks ahead. Also, Jimmy, bring yourself a kendo stick with Dirty Ron's name on it and beat his ass with it. There you go. I told you, people want to see.
Oh,
Let's
listen,
go, Jimmy.
bro.
There you go. Let's go, Jimmy.
I have a chair, and I have a chair. I have a pane of glass, and I have a whole bunch of doors and a GTS ring in the GTS Grimpack zone with Dirty Ron's name on it, and his face paint will be laying right in that canvas as soon as I'm done with his pathetic ass.
Now, Jimmy, I have something, as I promised, I wanted to present to you. I know we presented something to you last time on Sportswire, kind of recognizing you on the day that we had you, but we wanted to make something a little permanent for you to show, maybe in a small way, our appreciation of you and kind of recognizing what you've done in this sport and what you'll probably wind up doing to Dirty Ron at Grimmermania. So I'd like to present this to you, and hopefully you'll get it off the air. You can keep it permanently to another part of your collection from us here on Sportswire, because eventually, the next time we have you on the show, we'd like to induct you into our Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. But before I put you in the Hall of Fame, I want to put you in the Hall of Fame.
I'm getting old.
No, you're not. You're not as old as Dirty Ron. But before I
he's 100.
He's old. He's old. And but before I do that, I actually, Jimmy, wanted to present to you something that would show what I think you're gonna do, and especially for those that are listening and watching on Sports.
What I know I'm gonna do.
What you know you're gonna do, and what
I know I'm
gonna do. I want to show it for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio. We have officially recognized you here. I don't know why my signature didn't print, but we'll fix that at the end of the show. But for whatever reason, it didn't. But we'll get that fixed. Jimmy Controversy, you have officially been recognized as the Law and Order of Sportswire Radio. Congratulations, Jimmy. I don't know why my signature didn't pull up there, but I'll give you the fixed one when we're off the air.
Dude, I appreciate it, man. Well, nobody enforces the truth like I do.
And well, that's why you are Jimmy Controversy. And we needed you, Jimmy. Jimmy, we needed you here.
I'm gonna go on the record and say this. Nobody, and I've been on so many other fake news podcasts and so many podcasts. No one acknowledged my work and my impact like Sportswire Radio has.
Oh, that's so kind of you to say that,
why,
Jimmy.
When this is a very sensitive subject for me, with talking about this, putting my company on the line, and now my whole GTS career. Like, if I lose, I'm done.
There you go.
It's fixed. If I lose, I'm never seen in a GTS ring again. And I just dropped that right here on Sportswire Radio. If I lose to Dirty Ron, that damn dirty clown, because I have gotten over on clowns these past 5 years. Clowns have been a thorn in my side. If I lose to this damn dirty clown, the ultimate GTS OG is gone from GTS. And
you said you were going to fire him. That's what you said from your vantage point on Pro Wrestling Venom. And now,
if I win,
if you lose this match, you're going to be out of GTS. I mean, you said a lot tonight, Jimmy.
If I win, I've not only kept my company, but I've also uncanceled my story. I've uncanceled my story. All the slander, all everybody has wanted me to disappear. They wanted Jimmy Controversy to disappear. They didn't want Jimmy Controversy here. Listen, I wasn't part of last year's Grimmania, not because I didn't want to be part of it. I 100% wanted to be part of it. Grim said, you're not allowed or welcome to be part of my roster now. My roster doesn't want you part of GTS. So when I came back, there was all this turmoil, and apparently it still exists. Well, you know what? At Grimmermania, when I beat this clown, I will gladly look at all the other clowns in the eye and say the words hashtag uncanceled controversy. And there's not a damn thing. There's not a damn thing anybody could do about it.
Well,
I ain't going anywhere.
No, you're not going anywhere. But if you want to watch, YouTube channel. Sorry for the technical difficulties there, but you can check out.
That's where it'll be, the Silly Super Pop YouTube channel.
And I told you, Jimmy, I went the extra mile here to make sure we get all those plugs in. And before I get to a few other things, I appreciate that very much. Yep.
All wrestling matters. And, listen, speaking of all wrestling, Grimomania does have a stacked card this year.
Oh, it's a fantastic card. So many people are on the card.
Just
really, this might be the best one yet.
You have that four-way with Grim, Vince Series, Eris Spiral, Peta Kid.
And we know Grim is dealing with an injury. I mean, how he's going to
listen, Eris, here's the thing. Eris Spiral, I know she's the GM of LTW.
Yep.
But, and listen, I know that I came in there and took what reverted back to the YouTube championship when she got injured. But, part of me wants to see somebody finish their story at Mania, but the other part of me wants to see Peta Kid get put in his, and the other part of me wants to see Peta Kid get put in his place for being away for all these years and thinking that he could just come back and be on the level of a Jimmy Controversy or Grim or Doo-Wop,
I gotta ask you, in the interest of time, Resurrection Wrestling, you and Mac 10. I mean, Resurrection's obviously a place you showed up in a few times, and Dustin Alexander mentioned you on their most recent show yesterday at Elevation. He's their world champion. Anything you want to add on Resurrection?
Well, it was a 2 out of 3 falls Memphis death match, and
am I not surprised?
I went out there, I bled buckets, and Mac 10 got the last fall.
And he pissed in Mountain Dew, I'm sure, right? He was full of Mountain Dew.
Well, this was after, this was fresh off my loss from, this was fresh off of losing to Mikey Anarchy.
Yep. It was literally like 2 weeks after that. Yep.
Yeah, literally 2 weeks after that. And this was fresh off that loss. So I was kind of going through a lot of shit, but I invited Mac 10 to come up north, to come to Pro Wrestling Venom Season 2, because we are going to get into Season 2 real soon.
Oh, and I can't wait for that. There's a lot to talk about there for sure with that.
And challenge me one more time because it's an even playing field right now.
Oh, in your house, it's going to be different than in Resurrection's house.
And it'll be in my house.
I would love to see the foundation and the stepdads.
That is if I still have control over Pro Wrestling Venom.
Yeah, but we know that you're going to win this. We know after what you've said, you've put the stakes out there.
100%. Listen.
That's why we see that.
That's how confident I am. And you know what? Same goes for Ron. Because if I beat Ron, more doors will open for me. Hell, I might take his spot at XPW.
And April 13th isn't that far away from now.
I might take his payday.
Oh, we know that payday is
I might take his payday at XPW. What?
And
the guy who didn't it will sting that the guy who got out of his $6,900 contract, that was his Pro Wrestling Venom contract, takes his XPW payday and his spot at XPW. That will burn his ass.
All right, let me ask you this before we get to closing thoughts. What is your final words to Dirty Ron ahead of Grimomania?
My final words is better people have tried to get me out of the wrestling business, and better people have failed. And I don't give a damn who wants me around and who doesn't want me around. I do what's best for business. I do what is truth. I do justice, and I enforce order. And this is my life. I know wrestling is your life too, Ron, but wrestling is also my life.
That's
East Coast, stay on the West Coast. Stay at Fist Combat.
Yep. Oh, yes. Left coast first, right coast. But the right coast is here. And if you're people like Nate or anybody else out there, you see our YouTube channel, go give us a sub. Go give us
Go give them a sub. Yes. Sportswire Radio, Tom Bryce. He is the voice of
all wrestling
Internet
that matters.
Wrestling. He is the voice of Sportswire Radio, and he does a damn good job of it.
Oh, I appreciate that. I'm going to let my mother know this, actually, because I actually sent her the link. She's watching right now, so I really appreciate that you actually did that. So thank you for that. I know you're a busy man. I know you have a lot on your plate. So I want to obviously say thank you to everybody that's tuned in, but I want to now give you the floor. By the way, Nate said I should be your manager. So I don't know if you have a manager already, but I would certainly love to be your manager. I don't know if I could,
if Venom Wife Gabe Sayers would show up a little bit more, maybe I wouldn't have to call you in as a manager. But
I would say this: maybe I could help you get bookings in other places. Maybe I could help you with that off.
Definitely.
Now that I could probably help with. If you like me to be your manager in that capacity, I could probably help you in that place. But thank you, Nate, for the kind words. And Nate, while you're at it, give me a sub and a follow on YouTube. But okay, so Jimmy, I want to give you the floor. I want to give you your closing thoughts. I know you have a lot on your plate. You're getting ready for a lot of things in the future. You're going to definitely be back. You're officially now our Law and Order of Sportswire Radio, and I want to give you the floor. Anything else you want to share or say?
That was pretty much my
final thoughts.
That was
okay.
That was pretty much what I had to say. Dirty Ron, I'll see you soon, buddy. It's I'm gonna die trying. I'm just going to reiterate that you are coming into my home turf. You are coming into my stomping ground. I am the ultimate GTSOG. Aside from being the founder and owner of the company that you want full power and control over, I am the ultimate GTSOG. And if you have seen the Groomomanias of the past, I either win by dying or die trying.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why he's the worshiper of this sport of wrestling. This is why he's the enforcer of it. This is why he's the law and order, and that's why he's the Sarge. If you aren't yet following Jimmy Controversy, clearly you need to get your head examined. But while you're at it, go give him a follow anyway. And if you are following, tell your friends, tell your family, and tell everybody else. Because this is going to be the best Scrimmermania yet. Because Jimmy Controversy has a match that is going to forever change the foundation of pro wrestling Venom as we know it. And Dirty Ron, you certainly could be looking at your end of days.
GTS. And GTS as we know it.
Oh, for sure on that. And there's a lot of great stuff ahead with GTS. I'm going to see if I can get Rad Dad on here maybe in the next couple of days going into before next week. So we're going to make that happen as well. And it's always an honor to have you. The next time you're here, I think we allow you to take your place permanently in history in the Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame.
Much appreciated.
And we're going to definitely see you soon. And happy Easter to you, Jimmy. I can't wait to watch the shows. Easter. Thank you for all that you do. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the one and only Jimmy Controversy, officially now our Law and Order of Sportswire Radio. Please give him a follow. Please show him our support. And one more time, let's go Jimmy Controversy. Let's make sure he continues his run here for the full power and control of Pro Wrestling Venom. He is our CEO. He's the best damn CEO in this sport. And that's why we want to make sure we support him. But my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice of all wrestling, where all wrestling matters. If you're on Sportswire Radio, you're going back to your regularly scheduled programming. If you're on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, I'll be back twice tomorrow. First with Champagne Charlie of CCW in the UK. And I'm also going to be back here with Power Surge of NEW, which might actually maybe want to recruit you to wrestle in that ride in the ring. And Gabe Sayers is, by the way, is going to be there.
Part of NEW.
Gabe Sayers is going to be there. And Gabe Sayers, I'm sure, could certainly use you there because we need to see Gabe more at Pro Wrestling Venom. So maybe we'll kind of tip the scales there. You'll replace Hardcore. And one more thing, you give Ron that leftover egg. You definitely do that. And Dirty Ron, you're fired. Dirty Ron, you're fired, baby. Ladies and gentlemen,
let's Mania to say that.
You win that match. I'm gonna make sure we do that here. But thank you everybody here for tuning in. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one collaboration that is Sportswire Radio. And thank you, Jimmy Controversy, for all that you do. And go get him. And we'll see everybody.